Welcome home, Raiders. This week, there's more info for Warlords, and it's hit the web. Mana regen is on the rise, and Blizzcon? You got it, baby. All that and a lot more. This is Convert to Raid number 140.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for Raiders in the world of Warcraft.
The Convert to Raid Command Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is April 27th, 2014, and it is now 11:16 in the a.m. Central Daylight Time. Thank you so much for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land, and hello, my name is Pat Krane. I am the host of this shindig, and I'm also called Zug around Airy Peak, U.S., where I'm still raiding, of course, still doing the thing. And so are the fellas, so let's get them in here. From serene Seattle, back in serene Seattle now, it's Dairies!
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
I'm back.
How you doing?
Did you guys have a show without me? Was that even possible?
It was not possible at all.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm better. I was pretty sick last week. I also missed it because of PAX, and then I got the PAX plague.
Right. Well, we'll talk about PAX in a little bit. How about that? But for now, we'll go out to La La Land, out to Hollywood, to the Funky Monk. It's Koltrane. Hello, sir.
Fortune cookies say,
Oh, boy.
when a gnome clockmaker is hungry, he goes back 4 seconds.
What?
He goes back for seconds when he's hungry. Like, 4 seconds or 4 seconds. You see?
No, I understood it. I understood it.
Come on, that's brilliant.
I understood it. That's about all you get, though, buddy.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm seeing 10 out of 10. I'm seeing LMFAO 100 out of 10 bongos.
And I see 1 out of 1,000 bongos.
No, that's crazy.
I see.
That's brilliant, sir.
Wow, I see UGG.
That was sent in by Draven Dresden via Twitter. So thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you for participating. That was pure awfulness, though.
Oh, it's the great.
Pure awful.
The greatness.
So fellas, we're back after a couple of weeks. We were off last week because of Easter or Noble Garden or
Noble Garden.
Whatever. Did you guys do an egg hunt at all? Anybody? No? Nothing?
No.
All right. No. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Well, I was doing an egg hunt in Magoop's litter box. I was on quite the hunt for eggs.
That is a different...
right.
That's not eggs.
No, I was just as dedicated. I had my basket. And you know what I found? It was chocolate. It was chocolate. In the litter box was chocolate.
Chocolate.
That's not chocolate?
That's not chocolate. No.
Oh, it's the best.
Did you give it to kids or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I handed it out. They didn't seem too happy, though.
The parents were pissed.
No, I'm not allowed to be around those children anymore.
No, of course you're not. Of course you're not.
Chocolate.
Oh.
I did the typical post-Easter chocolate hunt for 50% off. Went to Target and Walmart and bought as many Cadbury mini eggs as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got to do that.
Holiday. The day after Easter is my favorite holiday.
It's like the clear out sale. That's good.
Yeah. Oh.
That's good. That's good. Now, as you were talking about before, Darius, you actually went to PAX, and you were in the BYOC and the PC free play area, right?
Yes, per usual. I was over there.
BYOC is bring your own computer, where you can bring your own setup and stuff like that. And then there's the PC free play.
Bring your own cat is what it is.
Oh, all right.
So how was PAX?
It was good. It was very PAXy, per usual. It was. I don't know. It was different this year. It was a little more subdued, I thought. I don't know. I can't really explain it. Things weren't as big. Microsoft booth wasn't really ginormous, and invasive like usually is. Sony's booth is usually pretty big like that. It was a lot of smaller booths that took it up, but there were a lot of good things to see there. There's this great game from a bunch of the creators of Left 4 Dead called Evolve. It looks awesome. It's the
cool.
One person plays a dinosaur, 4 others play a bunch of guys trying to kill it. So it's like this constant boss battle.
Whoa.
Blizzard was there. They were showing off their Hearthstones.
So how was the Blizzard stuff? So they were showing off Hearthstone. Did they have the adventure game going?
No. It was basically just the one you can download from the App Store.
Okay. Yeah.
Then showing off Heroes of the Storm.
Yep.
Which was constantly busy, and then they had Warlords there, but they had what looked to be the build from BlizzCon on the machines there. So it was a really old build. And I got to talk to one of the guys there. He was he was one of the QA testers for raids and encounters for Blizzard. Really cool guy. He basically spends his entire day playing the same boss or the same dungeon over and over and over again. He says he probably does it 700 or 800 times before they finally announce it, looking for bugs and things like that. And I tried real hard to get him on the show, but he was like, I don't think I could do that. I think PR would would flip out if I was on the show.
No, really? Come on. That's
really cool guy, though.
That'd be totally cool. We could have him on. That's fine.
Yeah, he's got the perfect job, too. He used to be a hardcore raider back in BC, he said, vanilla in BC. And then he got hired by Blizzard to basically raid all day long.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Holy that's
cow.
Great when you could do that. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's cool.
Really cool guy. But yeah, he was saying that the build they had was basically the BlizzCon one, that they couldn't get anything newer.
Right. So now you also came back with the PAX Plague.
I did. Well,
actually, no, you didn't even leave with it. You didn't even leave with it. You stayed there for extra long time, didn't you?
I managed to catch the PAX Plague and make it to the airport before things got really bad, and I ended up in the hospital for 2 days in Boston.
Dude,
so that was fun.
That's horrible. But you're better now.
Well, I mean, I'm not sick. I wouldn't say I'm better.
You're better than you were.
I'm still dairy, so they weren't able to cure that.
There is a point where there is no more return for people. Yeah. Yes.
He's definitely not better. I mean,
better is for you. For you, you're better.
Yeah. Right. So that was a good time. That was shortly after they had released Hearthstone for the iPad too, and I was sitting in the hospital at one point, so bored. I was like, "Please, somebody play with me." All I have is my iPad.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. And then so you missed Raid, and that was fun.
Yeah,
but you were
excused absence.
But you were on Mumble, like listening in.
Kind of.
Kind of.
They had just given me a bunch of morphine, so I was there.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So I was there for company, and then like as soon as everybody got in there, I passed out listening to Mumble. So I was in there for like 2 hours, where they finally came and woke me up, and then moved me to a different room.
Oh.
But it was interesting.
That's funny.
Interesting couple days.
Hey, Darius, do me a favor, just turn down just a little bit. Actually, by a little bit, I mean probably a great deal.
That's insane. The guy was high on morphine, listening to the Raid.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah. No, he was good. It was funny because he was like really tired, and you could tell he was just beat down. He's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I'm in the hospital right now." It's like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. Go do something else. Go sleep or something. Go get better.
It was bad. The room I was in had no TV or anything, so it was super boring. And
that's rough, man. But that's good dedication. You see, folks, that is a raider right there. That's what you do. That's what you gotta do.
That's right. And for that, you get the big applause.
Yes.
Because, you need something. Sure. You stuck it out as best you could. That was good.
You guys managed to kill a new boss or two, I think, when I wasn't there. So maybe that's fine.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Who did you guys down?
We got through Nazgrim, so we're up to Malkarok now. And we spent we didn't raid on Sunday like normal, but we did because of Easter. But on the Monday night, now we're doing 2 nights a week. On Monday night, we wiped all night to Malkarok. all night to Malkarok.
Yep.
How's that blood rage, baby?
It was great. It was pretty awesome, and that is one hell of a fight. If you guys haven't done that on heroic, it is it's a lot of it is an RNG fight. You know, it's a lot of randomness, and you have to be able to deal with it and be prepared for it. And we clearly were not.
It was that was a good way for me to come back to raiding. Let's wipe all night on a boss where the tank mechanics are really simple.
Well, and actually all the mechanics are fairly simple. It's just when you combine them all, it becomes a challenging fight because of raid awareness is so high, and we have 25 people, and if you lose one person, they can really wipe the group. So you know, that is the thing with that whole fight. I don't know.
We've been having problems too because I think we're up to 33 raiders now, but we keep seeming to have like 22 show up to raid. So the 22 that show up, it's awesome because they're there every week. But we had to bring in some people that had never raided with us before. Not pugs, but I think they were recruits. And they did all right, but it's hard to jump into a brand new guild on Malkarok.
Yeah. That's the one that they were introduced to the group with. Let's just go on Malkarok. Okay. You guys know the fight? Not really. Okay, great.
You're fine.
Hop in. How about you, Colt? What have you been up to?
Holy cow!
Whoa!
All right, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
So let's start with the good news.
All right.
And let's get wrecked with a raid team known as Rectify. Yeah! Rectified. Yeah!
I had that all ready to go for you.
Yeah!
All ready to go for
wrecked. I love it.
Right.
So here we go. So here's the team, right? So we got this heroic level team. We're just getting into heroics.
Yeah.
So last time we spoke, this was like 2 weeks ago, we had just downed Dark Shamans.
Yeah.
So in the 2 times we've raided, I would say that we've got heroic shamans on farm.
Cool.
We're killing these guys in like 1 or 2 attempts, like no problem, which means I'm tanking and I'm doing an okay job. I'm still not doing great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Maybe I should give you the big applause as well.
That is well worth the big applause. Because holy cow, tanking is insane. So I typically play Windwalker DPS. Now here I am, Brewmaster, but I'm doing better. I'm doing better with the walls. I may have had a bad placement yesterday, but it's all right. I didn't kill everybody. So anyway, heroic shamans, no problem. So then we step up into heroic Nazgrim. The first time we faced Nazgrim, one shot.
Whoa, hey, another big applause.
Awesome.
Another big applause.
Yes. Very happy about
that. That's good stuff.
It was great. It's great. You know, that fight, it's not too bad if you're like, okay, as long as you've got your priority, you know, you got to get down that Arc Weaver guy and, you know, this guy's first, second, third, and blah, blah, blah. You're all right. So then we went up against Malkarok.
Yeah.
Now, this is the bad news. The bad news is not the team. The team was doing awesome.
Right.
You know, first couple of polls, we're getting like 50%. The bad news was old Koltrane was playing like a giant butt fedora.
Nice.
That's right.
I like that. I like that.
I had one of those just off days. And when I say off days, I mean I wiped the raid constantly. Like I died like every poll. And I don't know what it was. It was like a different thing each time. Like there were some times where like, all right, there's a melee puddle and I go to roll to it. And oops, I didn't notice there were 2 orbs in that puddle. And guess what happens? I'm dead.
Right.
And then the next time we get to the blood rage, go ahead.
I totally hear you. I get you on this because there is a lot of stuff going on. So
there is, but I was just not like functioning. You know what I mean? I just could not get it through my head. Like the blood rage phase starts. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pop my touch of karma so I can absorb these orbs. So I hit the button and I start running at an orb and I die. And I realize that, well, I hit it, but it didn't actually activate. So then the next poll, I hit it, and I wait, and I hit it again, and then it activates, and I'm so excited it activated, I run to the nearest orb, which happens to be in front of Malkarok, and I get nailed with that blood rage.
You know, this actually sounds a lot like my experience with this fight as well, because Dairies actually benched me because I was dying more than everybody else. And I was like trying to take care of stuff, and getting lost in healer bars. And, as we were kind of getting a feel for the fight, Darius benched me.
So bad.
Such a jerk.
Just every pull, 10 seconds in, Zog's dead.
Right.
Oh,
right.
But it's like it's tough when you are the reason. Like it's like you feel terrible. Like the team's doing great. Everyone's like rocking and rolling. We're like getting this boss down, and somebody res walk fu. Somebody res walk fu.
Oh wait, hold on. Did you say?
No, don't play it. I died. No. So yeah, it was just an off raid night. So the team did great against Malkorok, and I just had one of those days, and that happens to raiders every once in a while. You just have an off day. So that was me. Me. I kept dying to the old blood rage. As soon as that phase started, I knew I was toast.
No, I hear you. That is not an easy fight. It's not.
I like it though.
I like it.
There's a lot of crap on the ground, and I like that. So, but
there's a ton.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. So it's a fun fight. I really dig it. I just I got to do better, man. I got to focus up. I got to be ready, and I got to bring it because I certainly didn't bring it. I brought the poo.
Right.
So.
Well, I did redeem myself, by the way. Later that night, I was brought back in out of pity.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was brought back in for like the last couple of pulls, and I did not die until the team wiped. So for that, I'm going to give myself the small applause.
Yeah.
I think he was second in healing, but he just stood there and just healed himself and was like, "I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die.
Right. I was just like, you know what? Screw y'all. I'm gonna take care of number one here."
That's good.
I don't know.
It worked.
So, okay, let's get into some things that are going on before we actually hit up rating news, because there's one thing that we actually have to hit right now, and that is that this week it was announced that there actually will be a BlizzCon 2014. Yes. And so BlizzCon 2014 was announced, and everybody went absolutely crazy.
Bonkers.
It was nuts. I was watching Twitter, and it was weird. It was
mayhem.
Yes, it was total weirdness. But November 7th and 8th, Anaheim Convention Center, and this year it's $200 a ticket.
Whew.
It's up $25. 24.
That's a lot for a con.
That's pricey, man.
Yeah.
$199?
Yeah, $199
plus hotel plus flight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, Blizz.
Well, that and they're doing some different things this year as well. So, ticket on sale dates are May 7th, which is a Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific. And then again on Saturday, May 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific. So you got to do some math if you're not in California.
3, 5. Let's carry the 9.
No, for you, Darius, you're fine. You're in the same thing.
You're West Coast.
So tickets go on sale in October?
Yes. So
okay, that's kind of close.
Carry the one. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And they're doing it through Eventbrite, which is they have never done this before. They've always gone through their own hosting of this, right? So now we got to get used to a new system.
The heck's Eventbrite?
Eventbrite is an event website.
Bright Light?
Yes.
Bright Light. Yes.
It's like Lightbright,
Lightbright,
the little game for kids. Yeah.
I'm going to order my tickets through that.
Yeah. Darius, do you know more about this? You sound like you know more.
No, I just know that they're a ticketing system. They're an event system, like BlizzCon's always done their own. Yeah, like a Ticketmaster
or something like that. Yeah.
The thing that I understand though from using it in the past, but it's never been like crazy busy events that I've used, but they don't have a queue system as far as I know. Right.
This is the big thing, and this is why a lot of people are kind of worried. Right. So they don't have a queue system. You just go in and you say, I want so many tickets, and you actually have to say, I want X number of tickets, and you can get up to 4. So you actually have to go to the drop-down menu and you have to hit it. So you're wasting time.
Wait a minute. So like in the past, we could like say 1 ticket, then you go to checkout, then you're in the queue, and then you could just change it to however many you want. But now we got to do it right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy cow!
That's how they've always done tickets. They might change it, but maybe they have something for events that are super busy.
But from my understanding, what it does is it starts you out with the number of tickets selected as 0. So you have to say, I want 1 or 4 or however many tickets you want, and then it will get you into the system. And you have 15 minutes to go through the process. Otherwise, your tickets are forfeit, and you have to requeue, or you have to go through the process again.
Jeez. That's how most ticketing sites do it, though, like Ticketmaster, and even plane tickets do that now.
Right. And I don't know why they're doing it this way. I don't know why they're switching it up on people. We just got our rhythm. Come on. Right.
I just got to know where the window was. It was about center screen, slightly to the right. Ready to go. Got my F5. Now we got light bright to deal with.
Right.
What the heck?
Right. But you can make a snowman or some kind of sign out of lights. It's good. No.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is somebody was saying, well, shouldn't you know how many tickets you have before you get on the website? That absolutely. But the thing is that by taking the time to select how many tickets, that wastes 2 seconds, and in that 2 seconds, all the tickets could be sold. You know what I mean? It's that fast.
Yeah, and last year, actually, it was kind of funny because for the 2 different ticket queues, right, I jumped in there and I was like, okay, I'm going to go in there. And the first time I went through, I actually did that. I went and selected the number of tickets that I wanted.
Right.
And I got shoved back into the queue. I was like 7,000 in line. I was like, there is no way I'm going to get tickets for this particular queue time. Second time I went in and did it just the standard way, and I just hit yes, and I was like 2,000. So I mean, that could be the difference when you jump into queue for an Eventbrite, and I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. So I think people are a little nervous this year. A little nervous.
Shaking in the boots.
Yeah. The charity dinner is also up as well. They went up $250. So they went up by half again. So it's 150% of the price it was last year, which was $500. So
it's $750 now?
Yeah, $750 up from $500.
What?
I know.
Whoa,
it's craziness.
Well, they better have more chairs. Because I'm going to tell you something. I heard some complaints last year that there weren't enough chairs.
I heard there weren't any chairs.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
People want to sit down.
Pay $500 to stand for 3 hours.
That's right.
That's
so
no
for
good.
$750, there better be some fold-outs. Come on.
That's no good.
Holy cow. $750. But it is for charity, which is good.
Yeah. And this is the first time that they've raised prices, right? I mean, I think, anyway, since the inception, right, of when they became a full BlizzCon, right?
I still think 200 is a lot for a 2-day con.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, it is. But they're going to get it. We know that
they will
get it.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, have you guys already gotten your hotel? Actually, Darius, you and I are rooming together again.
Yeah. So we got our hotel. But man, good luck if you're trying to get a hotel, because from what I was reading, the Sheraton, no, the Marriott, sorry, across the street, just blacked out the entire week. Like as soon as it was announced, they wanted something like $400 a night for a room for Marriott status members.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, what it was, and I found this out later, was that so when they made the announcement for BlizzCon, the hotels in question, Hilton and Marriott, both had blocked off rooms, and those were hooked up. They were linked up to the website, to the BlizzCon website. So if you went through the BlizzCon website, then you were in the clear, right? So then you could actually go through and say, okay, I want, it was like 170 some odd bucks for per night for the Marriott, and 200 something for the Hilton. And so if you went through the website, you got a little bit of a deal and you were able to block off those rooms. But if you didn't, you were screwed, especially at the Marriott.
They were gone fast.
Yeah, they were just out of there. And I think they might still be gone now. I think once ticket sales go on and people realize that they didn't get tickets, maybe that'll fall off again a little bit.
Yeah.
But
they wanted, for status members, they wanted 140,000 points per night.
Jeez.
It's like a year's worth at every other hotel.
Whoa.
Guys,
that is insane.
Isn't this getting a little out of hand here?
I agree.
This is insane. I mean, just for everything, like the tickets, the BlizzCon, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
It really is. It really is.
I think this year I'm not going to go. I'm just going to open a food truck and park it outside BlizzCon because those guys make a lot of money.
From me,
they do.
From me, especially
that Viking. I had that Viking dogs. You ever had a Viking dog? Holy cow!
I live in Minnesota. We have Viking dogs all the time.
That's a new one for me.
It's just a regular thing for us in Minnesota.
Right. Not a lot of Vikings out here in Cali. So
No,
that was new.
No, not really. No. A couple of cool things that they're already starting to work on for BlizzCon. They are going to have a number of contests again. And this year they're going to have the costume contest, the cosplay stuff. They're going to have the talent contest again. They're also going to have the movie contest, which they had last year. It's an online contest, right? So then they'll just play some of the winners as the night goes on or as the con goes on. And then they also are going to have an art contest. I don't know if they had that last year. I'm trying to think. And that's another online contest. So they're going to have all those. And I did email the Hilton myself.
What are they actually going to show off here, though? I mean, Warlords will be out by then. Heroes of the Storm will
that's the question. That's the big question. Is Warlords going to be out by then?
Hearthstone's out. The new StarCraft expansion is too far off to talk about it that much. What are they going to talk about here?
I don't know. I
mean, the movie's still got 2 years on it.
Right. Well, a year and a bit, right?
What, January 2016?
Well, it was moved out, right? It was moved out to March or whatever because of the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, so it'll be more than a year away from this BlizzCon. I mean, what are they going to show here? What are we going to talk about? And you can't talk about a movie for 2 days.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Maybe like maybe something new?
That's what I'm thinking. Right before PAX, they trademarked the term Overwatch.
Right.
And they hired a guy or two from Valve's Left 4 Dead team.
What?
So, yeah, maybe something new. We'll see.
Well, they were talking about
Overwatch.
Yeah, they were talking about there was some kind of I don't know if it was Blizzard talking about it or whether it was somebody else, but Overwatch was trademarked, I guess. Yeah. So it could be something along those lines. It could be Heroes of the Storm, something. Maybe they're shooting for a launch date right around then.
Well, it's interesting. Bay from Final Boss said Warlords will be launched. He says Warlords will be launched 2 weeks after BlizzCon 2014. Yup. This is the same as what happened with Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh. No, they wouldn't do that. That's a full year of Siege of Orgrimmar. No, a year and a half almost.
Well, yeah, because Siege started in September.
Yeah.
Last year.
That's a lot of Siege.
That is a lot of Siege. That's a lot of Siege. I'm really kind of wondering what the timeline is for Warlords right now, because that seems next week. Yeah, right.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, right. Sure.
I have a feeling that beta will start June 3rd. Either
to coincide with another title.
Yeah, this may be a wild star guess. I'm just wild here, but I have a feeling either right then or before or right after they will release, I'm assuming beta, to coincide with the WildStar release in support of the MMO WildStar. Blizzard will launch alpha or beta. Yes, exactly. That's the greatest thing. Like, guys, if you ever want to know when all this stuff's coming out, look at the competition. Look around the market. What else is coming out? That's when you're going to see these big reveals or big launches on anything from Blizzard. And that's just how other companies do it too. It's how it's done. So that's your big tip. Everyone always guesses when. Well, look at when other things are launching, and it'll probably be around that time. So
wow.
I'm just saying June 3rd.
No, yeah.
Something big's going to happen on June 3rd with WoW. I guarantee it.
I think you're probably
that's when patch 6.0 hits. Yep.
Yeah,
we're going to see a week of beta.
Yeah, no, there won't be.
week of beta, and then patch 6.0 will hit.
A week of beta.
That's all they need.
That's it. That's the only thing we need. See you later, guys. Bye bye.
Already done all the playtesting they need.
Oh man. No, I don't know when they're going to release it. And then I'm like going, well, what would they talk about with WoW if they had just released Warlords? Would they have any panels about WoW at all?
Yeah, that's why I think it's got to be after. I got to agree with Bay. That's why I think it's going to be just right after. You know what I mean? That way they can still like show it on the systems and people can still play it. And they're like, we're here to say it releases in 2 weeks. And everyone goes crazy.
I think that's a bad move.
You think so?
Oh, God.
I think I'll quit by then.
I think that's a bad move. Because the big hype was last year, right? The big hype was last year, and they were like, "Oh yeah, when we're ahead of schedule, and or we're further along in development than we even thought was possible." And but they didn't give a timeline, of course. And then they come back and say, "Oh yeah, we should have it out, after next year's BlizzCon." What? What? Yeah. Does that make sense?
That's true.
Does that make sense?
That's true. I mean, Ogamel is saying that they could talk about like 6.1 or 6.2 maybe.
Sure.
But Bay's saying October we get 6.
No way.
On live. And then Warlords after BlizzCon. I got to agree with Bay on this one.
Well, I'm not saying that 6.0 wouldn't be this fall. I just think that it would be a mistake if they didn't release Warlords, a couple of months before.
I agree. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a really long time.
That's an insanely long time. And also, I think that Blizzard released content too early, I think, in this expansion. I think that they've at least acknowledged it. When we had Celestalon and Zaramon, I think they said something like, well, maybe it was a little too fast.
Right.
And I think the result of that is now we've got this huge bottleneck. We got this big where there's nothing going on. And players are getting antsy into pantsy. So, I don't know. They got to get
me
some stuff
included,
going.
buddy. Yeah. I am getting in. I mean, thankfully we are kind of gearing up for Mythic, right? So we had to go from 10 to 25 and try to get our team together, get used to doing heroics and all that kind of stuff as we prepare for Warlords so that we can go Mythic, just right out of the gate. That would be awesome. So we have a different mission, but for those guys that are just continuing their teams as they were.
Yeah. I know. It's a long time. It's a long time.
It's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's a really long time.
Yeah, it really is, man.
But I am.
You and I are still dying to heroic Malkarok, Zug, so we got a ways to go.
I know.
We're still dying to blood rages.
Yeah, well,
to get over that.
I'm dying to everything in that fight. It doesn't even matter. But I am excited for BlizzCon no matter what, and I think that it'll be fun no matter what actually ends up happening there. And as I said a few minutes ago, I did email the Hilton this week. I emailed them about certain things that may be upcoming for BlizzCon for this show specifically. And for our guild and
dance contest?
Yeah, dance contest. That's all it is.
It's against you, Dairies. If you can beat Dairies.
That's right.
Mashed potato.
Well,
you can beat him in the mashed potato.
He is really good at the mashed potato, by the way.
And it's yours.
He's really good at it. No, but we want to do another thing at BlizzCon. It makes sense. It was a lot of fun last time.
It was an awesome time.
I want to continue the trend, so I'm looking at making it bigger, better, more awesome, all that kind of stuff. So just hang tight. We'll have more information as we kind of go. They said we don't have more information for you yet, so just you wait your turn.
Relax. Calm down.
And I said, okay, I will, because I've got more stuff going on in real life than I care to admit to.
Relax.
We need to get catered by Viking dogs. Then I'll be happy.
Yes. Oh yeah,
catered by Viking dogs.
That'd be good. That'd be good. One other note before we get into Raiden news, and that is that this is big, people. This is big. This is the third year in a row, and I kind of missed the beginning of this month, and I apologize to all of these people. These people.
What do you mean these people?
Are they
these
really
people? Because April is Gnome Appreciation Month, and I totally blew it.
Yeah,
I totally blew it. But it's Gnome Appreciation Month all April long. And now that it's the end of April, now maybe we should actually appreciate the gnomes.
I'm hearing it sounds like a rafflecopter, mechano hog, something outside of my door here.
Maybe you should go check it out.
I hear little feet running up the stairwell.
Uh-oh.
My gosh.
Uh-oh.
Guys! What the heck?
Uh-oh.
You looking for Koltrane? Guess what? He tied up. I'm tied up. Shut up, Aspera guy. We're here because Gnome Appreciation Month was skipped over by 1 week. We have gnome-themed fortune cookies for you. What's
Small alliance race that doesn't take engineering should have gnome better.
Gnome that try to use urinal in Thunderbluff must stay on their toes.
It's true, I pissed myself twice.
Gnome who flies airplane upside down have crack up. This is the gnomes, baby. The OG. Original gnomes.
Oh, boy. The original gnomes.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Jeez Louise!
So we missed that.
Oh.
We missed that, and we apologize to all the gnomes out there.
Heck.
To all those people.
Yeah, I know your names! Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know your mothers!
Whoa.
I'm calling
Hello.
later.
You know their mothers?
That's
Yes.
weird.
Oh, yeah. All right, sorry.
No mothers? Holy cow.
No mothers.
Mother of gnomes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's head into the raid news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening this week in raid news in the World of Warcraft. And actually, we'll go over the last couple of weeks since we missed last week as well. But we have a new WoW Source video with Morgan Webb, and where she was talking about PvP and class changes with Brian Holinka, Ian Hazakostas, Chris Zierhut, who is the lead class designer, I think, now. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting video. I mean, it was kind of PvP heavy though, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's Holinka, and Holinka's awesome.
Holinka is awesome.
Love me some Brian Holinka.
He is pretty great.
But you're right. We are a PvE rating show.
Yeah.
They did talk quite a bit about PvP. I will say, for me, I'm digging the changes. I'm digging where PvP is going. This is something I actually want to do because now it sounds like in Warlords, I can actually PvP, meaning I won't get CC'd over and over again for about 20 seconds and then I'm dead.
Yeah, that was kind of
I dig that.
That was kind of one of the big things was that they were talking about CC, about how they were changing diminishing returns, how those work. They're bringing the categories way down for diminishing returns and less CC, but CC will still be available in game because they think that it is important. And I think that too. I mean, from a rating standpoint, CC is great as well.
There was also a big thing, and help me out here, guys. There was something about that their world PvP, how they're trying to increase world PvP. There was something like the gear you're wearing, when you get engaged by another player, it like activates.
Yeah.
It like the stats like come to life, and your eye level shoots up, and you're ready to go with PvP gear. Something like that, right?
Yeah, so it was that if you have, I think the example that Holinka was using was that if you have item level 550 gear, as soon as you get into PvP combat, your item level will jump up to, say, 590 or something along those lines. That was the example that he used. So as soon as you jump into PvP with somebody, then your eye level goes way up. But if you're raiding or if you're just doing PvE content, it'll be at 550. So it's kind of weird, right? But it could be cool.
It's cool.
It could be cool. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what's going on with it, right? I don't know about the activation technique though.
Activate.
You can actually transform.
That would be cool. You'd be like a transformer. Oh,
right.
That'd be awesome.
Well, I'm digging because they're doing that now with the gear. Like if you're a pally and you're a ret pally, then the intellect and stuff on the gear is grayed out. But then when you switch to holy, it activates. And now it's now holy gear, So I dig this like activate thing that they're kind of going with the gear sets. I like it that you've got multiple stats. Some are grayed out. You switch specs, maybe you enter World PvP, and boom, those stats kick in, and you're ready to kick some bootay. So I dig that. I think that's kind of a cool thing.
And it kind of makes sense, too, because when you're dealing with PvP stuff, your spells change as well, so why shouldn't your gear? I mean, this is just kind of one more way that they can make it a little bit easier, a little bit better for those guys. Because right now, PvE gear is like top dog, right? So PvE gear, if you have heroic gear, you can kick some bootay in PvP. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it?
Well, I don't know. Like, not at like high-end levels. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to see arena teams.
Well, but like trinkets and stuff like that, isn't there something with trinkets? Or, I mean, I'm not a PvP guy, so I don't really know this stuff. But here's what I do know. Olivia Grace is pissed off about it. If she's angry about it, then I'm angry about it. Because I don't want to get in her way, I mean, it's
right.
It's kind of one of those things. But she seems to think that this is going to be a really good solution for a lot of different things to make sure that PvP gear is always king in PvP.
Right.
So that'd be good.
I dig it, man.
But there is some stuff that was talked about that is PvE related. Or can be, and one of them actually deals with the beta and stuff like that. Talking about the starting zones of warlords, that the starting experiences that were shown off at BlizzCon, they've been totally revamped, totally changed, and this is one of the reasons why we haven't seen a beta yet. Did you guys get to play the questing side of things at BlizzCon last year?
No, we just did the dungeon.
Yeah. How was the dungeon?
It was all right. It was. I mean, everything was different. Everything felt weird because there were so many changes and whatnot. But it was. I mean, it was fun. It was. It looked kind of cool. But it was a beta, so
cool. Colt, did you get a chance to?
I did not get to. I heard a lot of feedback, though. Some players were digging it. Some people felt that it felt a little unfinished, obviously, because this is, like, at that time, especially alpha. Right. But one thing I liked was, like Ian was saying, that they looked at these starting zones and was like, this just isn't good enough. This is no good. And I dig that. So now they've gone back and redone it. They've reimagined these opening scenes. And as you were saying, that is why the delay.
Right.
So that's why it's now been delayed till June 3rd when the beta will open up.
That's at least one reason why it's been delayed. And I got to play a little bit of it, and I think they were right to do it. I mean, it seemed a little status quo, right? So it seemed a little kind of like they're doing the same old thing in the questing, in the starting zones of those quests. It's, bring me 3 heads of these types of things, or, collect mushrooms. I have no idea what they were. I can't remember, but they seemed pretty status quo. So,
I mean, if they've revamped all of that, I'm excited because, man, those things are boring.
They can be. That's for sure.
What's wrong with collecting heads? That's awesome.
Collected a lot of heads.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of boar tusks.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just we're kind of used to that stuff, and it's like, well, you have an expansion. This is the starting zone. It should be maybe have a little bit more pizzazz to it.
Yes, but that's MMO, baby. Collecting stuff, that's MMO. That's how it is, man.
Well, yeah, but
kill 10 rats. That's been going on for years.
Well, but didn't you like how the mist stuff kind of rolled out with the big battle going on the shores of Pandaria, and you had to go...
yes, but it was still like collect 6 medallions from dead soldiers. Like, it's still the same.
Right.
It's MMO, baby. They just dress it up, it looks fancy. But I dig
that. They did
a
pretty good job.
Yeah, they did a good job. But I dig the collecting stuff. I find it relaxing. I find it a sense of accomplishment. I mean, I dig that stuff about MMOs.
Sure.
But so no, if they can dress it up and kind of hide it a little bit more, that's great. I actually really love what they did with Cataclysm when they redid the old zones. I thought some of the stuff that they added and did to those existing zones was incredible.
Yeah.
I was actually into the story and I was into these quests and, this kind of more vehicle stuff, I guess. But I don't know, man. There's a part of me that I like the old school, kill 10 rats and call it a day. When they've got all this like, oh, climb this vehicle and throw this spear. I'm like, oh, this is too much hassle. Let's just kill 10 rats. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
Just give me the rats, damn it.
Do you ever feel that? Does that ever occur to you guys? Am I
Kinda.
crazy?
Well, if it gets really convoluted, sure. If it gets really kind of like hectic and fast paced and you're like, oh, okay, now I have the special action key. What the hell do I have to do with this? And,
Right.
Blah, 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 blee, blee, blee. Maybe it's a little bit too complex. But for the most part, I don't know. I kind of liked it. Like the quest where you had to get in that, the sphere and roll over all the goblins.
Right.
Yes.
Remember
yes.
that one? That was so awesome. That was like, oh, that's great. I love that type of quest where you could just go do something new and kind of, different mechanic. But yeah, I don't like the complicated stuff.
I love all those mechanic. The like, here's a special item, go use this in a weird way, or here's a bunch of extra action buttons when you're in a vehicle. I think those are fun. I think they did a really good job in MoP mixing those in with with go collect 10 heads kind of quests. There was a good balance there, which I really liked. So if they can do more of that, expand on that for WAD.
And Zeldin in chat said it was gnomes, not goblins, and you're totally right.
Yes.
It is Gnome Appreciation Month, and it should be correct about that.
Good.
Killing gnomes.
Yeah.
That was the way I appreciated them at the time. It was totally cool. Let's see. There were some other things as well. Now there is going to be this realm that is going to house level 100 max level tunes only, and they're going to be able to use these to just jump right into to all the different testing that they need to do at top level, which is kind of cool. It sounds like they're going to be able to kind of max characters out and then really test gear and mechanics and all that kind of stuff, right?
That's right.
It's a clever thing because you always get on the beta, you get everybody starts at whatever level the previous expansion ended at, and then you've got to have everybody level up to max and then test things, and that you get maybe 10% of the people in the beta do that, so you don't get a whole lot of good feedback. This is a clever idea, bumping everybody up to 100 and saying, here you go, PvP only in this area, test all things PvP, so everyone there is looking for the same experience.
Right.
And same with PvE, with the raids. You're going to log in, you got your level 100. He's already going to have the appropriate gear at that level, and you can test these bosses, right? I mean, this is also for raiding as well, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
So this is awesome. This is like everybody, and you know what? We're all going to do it. You know what I mean? We all want to see these fights. We're all itching and seeing what it is. So the more people that are in there, the more feedback, the more testing, the more bug fixes and bug squashes. Right. This is a great thing. I'm actually surprised they haven't done this before, really.
Yeah, me too, because one of the things that this is actually kind of interesting for me is that I don't have to go through the questing at all, which, I mean, maybe we should leave that for the actual release of what? Warlords. And sorry, I had to do it. But maybe that is a good thing, and it'll keep that questing fresh for those guys that really want to get to the end game, like us three. I mean, we kind of want to get there pretty quickly, right? So this way we can just jump right in and be level 100 and test that stuff out. Be able to test out gear. Now, do you guys think that this will mean that Blizzard will be ahead of the curve when it comes to making improvements or changes within the game, like class changes and gear changes and stuff like that, or what?
I think this will definitely help with those situations where you get a pile of people that get a hold of a spell and they figure out some weird way to use it, some way that they never tested. They'll be able to get that stuff out of the way in the beta and not when it's live, and 4 guilds have already gone through BlackRock Foundry and exploited that, or not exploited, but used it to their advantage.
Or exploited it. I mean, let's be real.
Right.
So we'll get rid of those kind of things quicker, ahead of the curve on those kind of things, which is really good. That's good for everybody.
Cool.
Well, there was even some fights, I think it was in Siege of Orgrimmar, was it Nourishen or something, where hardcore guilds found a way that they could just ignore the mechanics and they could just, burn the boss or something. And then because of that, they realized it, but they couldn't hot fix it at that time when Blood Legion and Method were doing it. So they had to wait, and then they couldn't change the fight. And now it's just, we'll just increase the health and damage,
Right.
So, but maybe with this, these guilds will find these Zerg methods or these other methods, and they can hotfix it then when it's still in beta and not when it's live. You know what I mean? And when they're screwed. So
that'd be cool. And this is really kind of an interesting thing. And I agree. I don't understand why they haven't done this before.
Yeah,
it seems really weird that they haven't done this before, and now it's a new thing. And it's this makes a lot of sense, guys. This makes a lot of sense. So I don't know.
The scaling has never been there before. I mean, this is scaling stuff is new. So it looks like with the raid testing, they're saying as long as you're level 92 or above, you'll just get bumped up to 100 stats and whatnot. So
do you think? So do you think that this could mean that we'll see fewer class changes as well? Because they do have all this information right away, right? So, Colt, do you think that this means that it could mean fewer changes overall to power and stuff like that for different spells as we progress?
Well, I think that this could go either way. This could either mean more changes or less, really, because they're going to have the classes in there at level 100. People are going to be playing these classes. Now, keep in mind one thing. This goes for everyone out there. When this beta starts and people start live streaming these raids, I know you're going to be looking at those damage meters, and you're going to be looking at the healing meters, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at this class or that class. And you might yourself even pick your class based on those numbers. Keep one thing in mind. Balancing, that comes at the end.
Right.
That comes at the very, very end. They start tweaking numbers on who's OP, who needs more power, who needs less at the very, very end. So the important thing when you're selecting your class for Warlords, find something that you enjoy playing. Don't look at the numbers, because the numbers are going to change. Right. So if you enjoy the play style, that's your class. Don't worry about numbers. That's just a big thing that I always see, especially when they start streaming these raids. And I'm one of them. I'm like, how are mages doing? Oh my gosh, mages. You know what I mean? So
and that's the way it goes throughout the expansion as well. Pick something you like playing, because most likely it's going to change anyway.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I mean, we had our victory. I mean, Disc got nerfed, so everyone's happy. Woo! Yeah!
Yep, there is that.
Next up is Warlocks, baby. Gotta nerf locks to the ground.
That's funny.
They've held that title for too long. Come on, I gotta knock them down a few. It's time for the Windwalker Monk. No bias here. No bias.
Right. One last thing that they were talking about in the WoW Source video was talking about visuals, spell effects and stuff like that. And
more of them.
And they're actually increasing the number of spell effects that on yourself. I mean, I think they were talking about mages and about how they were going to rain down hell on their opponents, essentially. But at the same time, they don't want rogues to not be able to see what the hell they're doing, especially if they're playing a gnome. You can't see anything. Right. You're just guessing what you're doing at that point.
It's this ability that mages are getting called meteor.
Right.
And it's literally this meteor that comes down from the sky and kablooey, right? It has this major, amazing explosion, and it looks epic. And as a mage, that's going to be amazing. There's some kind of an ice storm thing. It looks great.
It's kind of like the Dark Shaman's their big effect that they do, right? I mean, it doesn't put that big orange circle on the ground, but it's that big meteor comes down really slowly and boom.
Right, which is great. So what they're doing, and this is brilliant. Let's say I'm playing my mage, right? I launch Meteor. I see this thing and it comes down and it explodes in this huge ball of fire and it looks epic. And I feel awesome because I just saw my awesome spell do something awesome. What's great is the melee will not see it. Or they will see it, but it'll be very muted. It won't be as big of a visual.
Right.
So it won't interfere with what's on the ground. They can still continue their gameplay and they'll be able to see their special abilities and moves, but not others. So it's going to reduce the ground clutter and all the craziness that's going on in the screen, which is awesome. So I still get to have the epic experience that I want by launching Meteor.
Right.
But everyone else, especially Melee, doesn't have to suffer because of it.
And they kind of have that now, but it sounds like they're going to do even more of that stuff. So that they're gonna dampen it down even more for people. Because I know right now with when I'm looking at efflorescence around the room, I can pick out mine pretty easily. But if they do that even more, awesome, great, I like it. So,
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's going to cut down, I think, too, on like, it's possible you guys would know, on lag. You know what I mean? All the visual clutter. It's going to be less processing on your machine as well. I know they're doing a lot of fine tuning with the game systems, but when you've got a lot of less spells going off and craziness going off on your screen, just from a visual sense, I think that's going to help out a lot, especially in like a 20-man raid.
Darius, do you think that's true?
I think it'll help because the input lag is pretty bad too. If there's a lot of effects going on,
right?
People are going to see a lot of this input lag, which fights like Malkorok that happens. When you on the pull, 25-man, most people go down to 1 frame per second.
Well,
but this will definitely help with those things.
And it sounds like, I mean, we have all that stuff going on. The visuals being dampened down a little bit more. The math is being dampened down a little bit more with the stat squish and with everything else going on with that. Plus, there's no more snapshotting, so they don't have to hold the different numbers for all the different spells, all the different hots and dots and things going on in the raid, which is great. So I think all of that kind of means that, unfortunately, they also boosted the fidelity of all the characters, right? So is it just a wash at the end of the day?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
The less I can see of mage or what mages are doing, the better my play experience is going to be.
All right. All right.
How I feel that.
All right. Sounds good. By the way, guys, if my sources are correct, and I don't know if they are or not, we should be actually seeing a lot more information dropping this month and next month about rating philosophies specifically and other stuff. And I know like when Zarm was on, he was talking about garrisons as well. Garrisons is going to be upcoming, and my guess is that it's going to be more than one little post, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But because garrisons they frighten me now. They frighten me now. But we'll get to that in just a second because I want to talk about active mana regen for healers. There was more information. More patch notes came up for the alpha, and it was pretty interesting. So remember, they took away things like innervate and for healers, and it looks like they're coming back. So they're back in the notes. They like all these different healers have a way to actively regen mana, but it's a little bit different than what it is right now. Darius, do you know what's going on with this?
Yeah, so Blizzard doesn't like the innervates. You push a button, you get mana back. That's completely passive, and that's just a button that is on cooldown always.
Right?
They don't like that kind of stuff. I really think they've liked, as much as people seem to hate this, they liked things like Solace for priests, or basically atonement healing where you regen mana too. They like those kind of things because you're actively doing something to get your mana back, instead of just standing there and clicking a button and just waiting for it to all show back up again.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like is happening here. And I think that's great. I think that's a fun way to play the game. I really enjoy that about my priest when I'm healing is doing something different to get mana back when I really need it instead of just standing there and waiting.
Yep. It's kind of like the shaman thing where they shoot lightning bolts to regen.
Exactly.
So you're at currents or something.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing down a mana tide totem and you're like, oh, everybody's got mana again. Like that's boring. That's there's no skill in that. It's just something that's on cooldown always.
Yeah.
As an example, wasn't there, and I believe, I'm not sure, wasn't there some example where like the spell penance, right? You shoot out that little light.
Yeah.
I love that sound, by the way. So if you use it on a player, it increases their health. But if you cast penance on the boss, then it increases your mana, right? Is that the kind of thing that you're talking about?
In the past, it used to be if you penanced a player, it healed them. If you penanced the boss, it damaged them and did atonement healing, so it healed the player. Now, it doesn't do atonement healing. It just damages the boss, but it regens something like 1.1% of your mana every time you do it.
Right.
So it's a priest already had that in Solace, in Powered Solace, an ability they could cast, and every time they hit the boss with it, they would get back 1% of their mana or whatever it was on a 10-second cooldown. So now they have more of those. They just don't trigger atonement healing. So you're not going to get Disc Priest doing 100k DPS and 100k heals per second at the same time while sitting at full mana.
And I would just like to dish out the big applause on that one. Thank you very much, Blizzard, for doing that, because that is awesome. I really like that Disc Priests have to do either damage or healing and not both at the same time. That'll be good. The thing that's interesting for me is Innervate. Right. So right now, the way it stands is you just press a button and you get mana back. And so what they're saying is that Innervate is being redesigned to have a 2-second cast time with no cooldown whatsoever. So you can hit it whenever the hell you want, which is great. And it'll restore 2.5% of your max mana every 4 seconds for 8 seconds. But here's the kicker. You can't heal anybody during that time. You can't. You can do damage if you want to, but you're not going to heal anybody if you want to get that full mana back.
Yeah, so, I like that. I like that idea. It's kind of like the manatee mechanic for monks. You do damage to build this thing up, or you at least generate chi to build this thing up, and then you channel it, or you do something that's not healing.
Right. To
get mana back. I like that idea.
And and now it's like crackling jade for monks.
Yeah.
It's going to be the thing. So Colt, what's your issue here?
Here's my grumble.
Here's my grumble.
Whatever. My grumble. So mages, we have this thing like evocation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the thing that mages hated about it, and the thing that I hated about it, is that I had to stop doing what I love to do.
Right.
And that's doing damage. I had to stop casting and stand there and whoo like an idiot, evocating, thankfully they reduced the cast time. So all the way from like 0 to max or whatever, and then I could do more damage. But I didn't like it that I had to stop doing DPS to do this little regen thing. I don't like that for Resto Druids, that you guys have to stop healing and just stand there. Like, that's not fun.
Well, we don't have to just stand there. We can do damage.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's kind of interesting for me is that with the new healing regime, let's call it that. With the new regime, we're going to be doing more triage healing. We're going to have more mana at our disposal. It's going to be doing less damage overall. I mean, less spiky damage. That's for sure. With all of these different changes, I don't think that mana is going to be as much of an issue as it is right now. Because when you're out, right? So and with all the damage going on, you actually have to just hit a button so that you can get right back into healing and losing more mana that way. It's ridiculous. But it is kind of one of those things of, I think with the new regime, that may not necessarily be as much of an issue. So I don't know if we'll be hitting it all that much.
Yeah, I mean, that's all from testing, and we're not sure exactly yet.
Right.
Trekkie's actually in our chat room. Awesome guest last week. So the other healers are stopping doing what they do to regen mana, and the new Innervate is just the same. So I guess, they're stopping to do that. I don't like when we have to stop playing to like regen. And I understand that regenning is part of the game, and part of strategy is finding those spots in the raid encounter when, okay, I can stop and for a certain amount of time,
right,
and I'll be all right. I understand the strategy of that, and that's cool. But I don't know, man. I don't like it when DPS has to stop DPSing and healers have to stop healing.
It's not the most ideal thing, and I think that they're keeping it that way so that it remains like a difficult decision for people.
Yeah.
They want to make it a real choice, and the choice is, if I want to get mana back this way, then I have to not heal for a while, or I have to do something different.
True.
I have to do.
No, you're right. And choice is good. Choice is a very good thing. One thing I liked about Arcane Mages was placing the Rune of Power. I liked that strategy. If I got to find a place that I can pop this thing, and I know that I can stand right here and do my deeps, and I'll be fine. Like, I like that strategy So,
Yeah.
same thing with here. So, yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to. I mean, right now it's so difficult to tell exactly how that's going to roll out with, everything, all the different changes that are going on. So looking at it outside of everything else, it looks kind of weird. I would agree with you there. So, yeah, that's all I got. Anything else on that? Or should we just go straight into my fear zone with garrisons?
Let's do it, baby!
All right, so more information on garrisons has come out through tweets and interviews, and even the guys on our show, when they came on, they were talking about garrisons and about how they're going to be a part of the leveling experience and all this kind of stuff. And let's talk about some information that we know about garrisons, and that's this. It's going to be a part of the leveling experience, and you will be redirected to your garrison frequently throughout the leveling experiences as it is integrated into the zones and leveling experience as a whole. Every time you go back, you will see familiar faces of your quest lines. But the big question is, for me, is what about those guys that don't like to quest? We're going to be it sounds like this is going to be like a major feature of Warlords. But what if you don't like to quest?
You probably just don't have to go back there. I mean, it's the same with quest hubs right now. They put quest hubs out. You have to go back to them every time you're up questing and you go into the next one. But if you just go through grinding or dungeons, you don't have to go back there to see those.
There's a big tweet from old Mumper.
Yeah.
Old Corey Stockton. And this question was asked, and I think it was by Olivia Grace or something. It said, what if there's people out there that all they want to do is LFG? They're looking for dungeon. They don't want to quest. They just want to grind instances all the way to level 100. What then? And he said that you do not have to do the leveling with the garrisons. You can do LFD all the way to 100 and then develop your garrison. You're not required to quest from level 90 to 100 for your garrison. You can LFD all the way to 100 and then do your garrison stuff.
Well,
later.
but the big problem is with garrisons is there's a lot more information, and it sounds like garrisons are going to be a part of your daily life, right? So it sounds like that even with professions, that garrisons are going to be a major part of being able to develop your profession. So you're not really maxing your professions out unless you're also maxing out your garrisons, and that to me seems like it puts raiders in a difficult position. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Here's one thing that I read. They were talking about like that your garrisons, you can choose what buildings you want, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're a blacksmith and a miner.
Yep.
So you're leveling up and you see your mining nodes. You're going to see that. So you're going to get all the ore you want, and you can build your gear as you level up. Your blacksmithing. Oh, this is an upgrade for me at level 92, 93. Great. Yep. Blah, 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 blah. You do that all the way up to max level. Hopefully you level up your blacksmithing. Now what's cool is your garrison, it pops up. You can choose to make a mining node on your garrison, or you can choose to do like herbalism, where you're going to send your dudes out to gather herbs. The idea, I believe, with garrisons is you can use these things to help develop other professions as well, or to aid you in your own profession. Meaning, you could set up a mining node. You could have your little dudes mine for you and make little weapons, and you can get all the ore you want from your little dudes. Or if you're a raider and you want alchemy, you could set up an herbalism farm and maybe an alchemy table or something, and then they can do all the herb gathering for you while you're away and give you the herbs you need. And maybe with the alchemy table, you could make potions. Like they were saying that it'll support up to four professions, I believe, and also it's almost like having those professions. It's not quite as efficient, but it's almost like having them. So in a way, garrisons, the way I look at it, it's more of a convenient thing that it's going to ease your lifestyle. You know what I mean? You set your minions off to do your thing, whatever you need. They can gather ore for you. They can gather herbs for you. And then you come home and you collect the booty. Sounds good.
Well, and everybody likes the booty.
That's right.
That's
like the loot.
let's just face that. Everybody likes the booty. I don't know. Darius, what are your thoughts on garrisons from what we know so far?
I mean, I think it's going to be a fun addition. I like the idea of knowing that there's always a place to go back to, that it's going to be central to questing, that you're gonna see people from the quest lines in there. You might rescue someone or whatever, and they end up hanging out at your garrison for a while. I think that's fun. Just as long as the garrison isn't in the corner of the map somewhere that's kind of hard to get to and not near anything. That's going to be kind of annoying. But
they did talk about that as well, about where garrisons can be.
Yeah,
and as it turns out, it might be a little bit more limited than what they talked about at BlizzCon.
Okay, one spot. You can pick anywhere you want as long as it's in this spot.
Right, as long as it's in this one spot, we've got it all picked out for you. Here's where your garrison's going to be. Boom. And that's kind of what they're saying as far as your leveling experience goes. Colt, what do you think about this little enlightenment that we've had this week?
Well, I think about the tech, and I think about the servers and the server load. So these garrisons themselves are going to have a really complex AI involved, right?
Yep.
And also, your garrison is going to be, phased to you, right?
Yep.
So you're going to go into the zone, and you're going to enter your area where your garrison is, and then you're going to kind of phase out and phase into your garrison, okay? So that's one player doing that. That's me, right? So that's already a load on the server right there, that this is now phased whatever. Now imagine hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of players all going into that zone, and they each have their own individual phase, right? Mm-hmm. And inside that phase is very complex AI and everything else that's going on. I'm thinking that due to the server load and technology, they realize whoa, we got to keep this in one central location,
right? Because
there's going to be a lot going on behind the scenes with these garrisons that we're never going to see or never going to know. So I'm thinking just for server load and general tech, they got to keep these things in one spot.
Sure.
Because holy cow, if you got hundreds of thousands, each with different phases and different zones and all that stuff, I mean, the servers, I think, would explode.
Right. Well, I hope that if you play Horde, I hope you like snow, and if you play Alliance, I hope you love darkness, because that's what you're going to get. It's just going to be in the starting zones is where your garrison's going to be, at least during the leveling process. They said maybe they might do something like skyboxes so that you can go up in the sky somewhere. I don't know. And then maybe later at max level, you could maybe move it then. They're not really sure.
So yeah, that's right. They mentioned that once you hit max, then you might be able to possibly move it.
Right.
But they're not sure for now. So I don't know, from a tech server side thing, and Dairies might be able to respond more to this. That's why I think they're doing what they're doing. There's going to be a lot going on.
Dairies, what do you think?
I think they're leaving garrisons in one spot a lot for what they said, that it has to be central. They want to put it as part of your leveling experience. And I think that's the right decision there. Yeah. As far as tech, all of those things are going to be instanced anyway. You're going to be seamlessly moving into an instance server when you get close to your garrison where no one else will be. So all the main server is going to say is, okay, this area right here is instance. I don't do anything in there. I don't compute anything, so I don't have to worry about it. Everything else goes off into its own instance somewhere else on the server or a different server. So it's not that big of a burden, because you're gonna have to do it one way or the other. Whether it's in one spot or all around the world.
Right.
So from the server side, I don't think it's that big of a burden, but it makes sense how they want to integrate it into the story.
It's just frightening me because I'm looking at this big new thing, right? And I think that a lot of people are kind of in the same boat. So we're looking at this big new feature, and it looks like it's going to be a major player in Warlords of Draenor. So with all of that, my biggest fear is that it either becomes mandatory for raiders, or it becomes mandatory to min-max your professions or something along those lines, right? So there's always the, oh my God, I have to do this thing that kind of spawns with new content, kind of like the 5.0 dailies or something like that. There is forced questing, which may be a part of it. If you want to really make your garrison awesome, you have to do all these quests. And for those guys that don't like to do quests, that's kind of a pain, right? And then there's just kind of, what if it doesn't work? What if this really does become Farm 2.0, and people just go, after like a couple months, they're like, oh, I'm done.
That's interesting.
Those are the fears that a lot of people are looking at right now. I'm not.
You want to hear my take?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my take on this whole garrison thing.
Calm down.
I think. No, yeah. Everybody be cool. No. If there's something that I think is like poo-poo, I'm trying to, censor myself. I'm going to say it. But this is the way I look at garrisons. I think that what they have said was you'll be able to do a quest for your garrison, and depending on your decisions, those decisions will help you on your quests,
Sure.
whatever that's going to be.
Sure.
So it's going to be kind of a cool thing that might help you out in your questing experience. So I'm imagining I'm using these garrisons while I'm leveling up to assist me while leveling. And then once I hit max level, I then can choose to have my little minions do stuff for me as a way, like quality of life,
right,
to make things easier. I don't need to have alts that are mining and herbalism, and then other alts that have, to be my gathering alts. I can have my minions be my gathering dudes.
That's a really good way of looking at it. I like that way. I'll stick with that. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Well, I'm just saying I can have whatever professions I want. Now, keep in mind, there are not going to be rating benefits with professions in Warlords.
Right.
So blacksmiths are not getting sockets, engineers are not getting synapse springs, but I can choose the professions that I want, and I can have my minions be my gatherers.
Right.
So I dig that at max level. So I dig it for the leveling experience. It's going to help me out leveling up. And then at max level, I think it's going to be a quality of life difference and make things easier to do. So that's how I'm looking at garrisons now with the information that I've read so far. But we'll see, because they're going to have more and more information is going to be released, and we'll learn more and more about them.
Right.
And we'll find out if I could be completely wrong. This is going to be a mess.
Right.
But we'll see. But I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, and with all of this stuff, I am taking it with a grain of salt, because I understand that this is not the final iteration of how this is going to roll out. They're going to be taking a look at this throughout the alpha and the beta process to make sure that it's playing the way that they want it to. So I'm kind of reassured, because it is so early in the process, that this isn't necessarily how it's going to lay out. I'm just so people don't get all up in arms about it quite yet. Remember, the 1-800 number is still, is still available. 1-800 calm the F down is still around, and operators are standing by.
They're standing by. Absolutely.
Oh man, I don't know. Darius, anything else that you want to bring up on garrisons? Are you looking forward to it, or are you?
I like garrisons.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Well,
I can't wait.
In that case, before we continue on, I just want to bring up one of our sponsors, and that is mobileboxes.com. Now, if you use the promo code CTR, you'll be saving 20% off of any plan that you purchase with Mumble Boxes, and these guys are great. We use them for the CTR Guild. They absolutely support us. We have a 300-person Mumble server with those guys, and it works really, really smoothly. Really good about all the tech side of things and everything, and just really great people. And we may have to expand that as we move into Warlords. Oh boy, because we have a lot of people that we're trying to serve over at the CTR Guild. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
But that's the way that it goes, right? I mean, that's what we kind of have to deal with. So I don't know, but we love them. We hope that you guys love them. They have insanely cheap stuff already. I mean, it's very well priced stuff. I mean, for less than a cup of coffee, you could have your own Mumble server for like 25 people, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
And it sounds good. There hasn't been any problems with it. So.
Yeah. And so just use the promo code CTR when you check out at mumbleboxes.com. You can try it out free for 7 days. They have a really easy install and great pricing over there. So that's all there is to that. Okay, now last story before we move into questions. And I want to bring this up because this is amazing.
This is such an unstory.
No, come on! It is not an unstory. This is insane.
This is insane.
So I'll explain how this was done once we're finished doing this.
Okay, all right. So there was a Russian World of Warcraft player named and
that's correct. That's perfectly correct.
He has unlocked all 2,057 achievements for World of Warcraft. And Darius is probably going to say he totally cheated, and here's how he cheated.
He did. He purchased a pile of accounts with these achievements on them and
then
merged them into his.
all?
Yep. So, I mean, some of these he got mostly legitimately. I mean, he got server or realm first, level 90 on a bunch of tunes. And he did that by getting on a really, really low pop PvP realm and having his guildmates kill everyone that was questing so that he could be the only one to quest for the first couple days.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
And there were a few others he got legitimately, but a lot of these he just purchased. He straight up purchased accounts.
Well, you know what I have to say about cheaters? Especially for something like this, man. You know, come on. It's still amazing. I know that we talked about this on the Game Breaker show on Thursday, and it was really funny. I had somebody tweet me with their achievements, and they had almost 19,000. This guy has almost 22,000 achievement points. I have like under 10. I don't.
10 total. 10, like he has the level 9 to get to level 9.
It's not 10,000. It's just 10. It's really weird because I actually have quite a few rating achievements. They didn't have any points for them, I guess.
They don't count.
I don't know. Not anymore. Colt, did you take a look at this guy's the whole achievement list that he has?
I did. So here's what just happened. I'm all like, whoa, this is amazing. And then Darius reveals story. Oh, no, this is terrible. Like, I went from a high point to a low point in about 5 seconds.
Sorry.
That's insane.
But, you know, even if that's the case, I don't really care because the guy went and thought that this would be a thing and went and purchased all these different accounts anyway. So that may be more dollars than cents, really.
Yeah.
In this case, who knows? But yeah, I don't know.
I dig the thing about that his buddies killed all the other players leveling. That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Really intense.
That's
I mean,
some
holy
good
cow.
friends right there.
That's really
That's
pretty
right.
neat. That's really pretty neat.
In Russia, they level you. Like they
Actually, they do. They do.
They do.
All right. Hey, we're gonna jump ahead here, guys. In the notes, we'll save that one for next week. But we're gonna just jump right into the Q&A because we're a little bit behind. So here we go.
We've got mail.
We do it. If you have a question about anything for us about rating or anything else, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. Call our raid line, 612-787-RAID, or you can tweet us, or you can do all this other stuff. You can join us during the live show and try to get our attention, and we'll see if we can get to it. This week, we have some questions, however, that we need to get to, and one is from the raid line. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Nolan from Emerald Dream. Just had a question regarding guild websites. When a guild leader is going to set up his website, what are some things that we should look for? How often should we post on there? What have you guys seen that is successful to help raiding guilds progress, even on the social aspect as far as websites go? Any info would be helpful. Thank you.
All right. So what makes for a good guild website? And thanks for the question. Really appreciate it. And Darius, you're kind of the web savvy guy, right?
Yeah, internet.
Yeah,
I've used it.
You like internet. Yeah. What do you think? Internet. What do you think makes for a good guild website?
I mean, you definitely have to have the ability to communicate. That's big. But first off, you want your front page is gonna show off your guild. You know, people that are coming there that maybe are prospective raiders, people that friends, whatever. You want to show them what you're done. Put some screenshots up there of your kills, your accomplishments, things like that. And then you want some kind of forum for people to be able to talk to you, but also for your raiders to be able to communicate. So you can talk about strats. Post when you're not going to be around. Just kind of talk about nonsense, all that kind of stuff. Communication is really big on there. And you got to make it easy. You don't go through some of these services that require you to, create 10 different accounts or something like that. If you could centralize it, if there's a way to do that, try to do that. But yeah, I'd say the forums are a really big thing. If I had to pick one thing, make sure you get some forums in there.
Right on. Koltrane, how about you?
Well, I got to tell you, the raid team I'm on, Rectified, they've got their own website, and it's amazing. I was totally blown away when I saw this site. It's WR. By the way, Rectified starts with a W. Everyone thinks it's like
because they're wrecked.
Yes, wrecked, not wrecked. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's WR WRECKEDIFIED.com, rectified.com. But if you check out that site, I think that's a perfect example. And the front page right now, he's got a cool like message and a story about the guild. He's got recruiting, Elder Shield, put this whole thing together. Different tabs. Make it like fun, cool, simple, interesting, list a whole bunch of cool, neat stuff. Like it needs to be something that when people go to, they go, oh, wow, oh, neat. You know what I mean? Little like in-game screenshots, you know, all that jazz. Forums are huge for talking. But yeah, like think of it from like a marketing thing. Like it's got to be something that's fun and easy to navigate and kind of cool to look at. You know, imagine if you were going to go to that website, what would impress you? What would make you go, oh, cool, you know, and check it out.
And I think the other thing too to note would be to have some kind of socials on there, like a Twitter feed or something like that. It depends on what your team is into. If you're using Twitter, I think it would be great to have like a team Twitter account just to be able to repost or like some sort of list going on where you can kind of keep track as far as what your teammates are doing outside of gaming and just kind of as a little fun thing, as well as kind of communicating with the guild that way. Because I know that a lot of people talk both inside and outside the game, especially using things like Twitter. So,
and I might have misspelled it. It's WRECKEDIFIED.
Okay, so rectified. Okay, I'm gonna go there right now. Hold on one second.
.com. But everyone's saying overload the site.
But I will play this again.
Rectified! Yeah! Rectified. Yeah!
Right. And you guys are recruiting. Look at this. Look at all this stuff.
Getting ready for Mythic,
cool,
man.
That's cool, man. That's good. That's
cool
good.
Site.
Awesome. And then let me go back to the show notes here.
Yes. Not rectified.
Right. Okay, we have another question here from Stomper Koltrane. Can you help us out here?
From Stomper.
Yep.
Dig the name. I'm a returning player. Haven't played since my raid team split up a few months ago. I only have one decently geared character, which is my 566 Hunter, and I want to gear one of my other 90s. What would be my best hope for getting geared nowadays? I tried to do LFR, but we wiped on a Mercius, so I stopped playing for a bit because, well, that made me sad. Thanks. Love the show, guys. Keep it up.
All right, so we're talking about how to gear up right now, and he's got a 566 Hunter, and he's going through LFR. That doesn't sound right.
No, that's, I think, probably one of the other tunes.
Oh, one of the other tunes. It better be. Because if you're 566 on your Hunter, there's no need to do LFR anymore.
Yeah, I think he's looking to gear up one of his other tunes.
I gotcha. So, Darius, what would you say is a really good way to gear up right now?
Wow. If you can't handle wiping an LFR,
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. LFR?
Make friends.
Yeah, I guess. Try to find a flex group if you can, but I mean, you're gonna wipe no matter what you do. LFR, flex, normal, anything. Yeah.
You are a lot of help today, Darius.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for this. I mean, if wiping once on a Mercius made you sad and not want to play, for a few months, I'm not sure I'm much help.
The PAX plague has taken out all your helpful ideas. All right. Colt, you got anything for this guy?
See, what they've identified is one of the problems with Mists of Pandaria. And it's one thing that's being fixed in Warlords of Draenor. In Warlords, higher level gear is going to be in heroic dungeons than in LFR. So you're going to be able to get better gear in heroic dungeons in 5-mans than in LFR in Warlords. This is a great thing because if you want to get geared up, you just got to run a 5-man dungeon. That's fantastic. A 5-man is a lot easier to manage than a wipe fest on LFR. So this is a good thing.
True.
Unfortunately, this is not Warlords. This is Mists of Pandaria. And in Mists of Pandaria, the best way to get gear and to get geared up is through LFR. Now, I would recommend you go to the old Timeless Isle. You get some of that 496 goodness, some of those, those nice pieces.
Get the burdens and jump up to 535 on some of those items. Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. That'll help you get geared up for LFR.
Right.
And then you have to go through LFR.
Right.
So,
Or you could, you could always do open raid. I mean, everything is cross-realm right now, right? So
Right.
even if you can't find friends of your own, you can make them through open raid or other places like that and be able to jump in with people, and hopefully somebody is making a group for your particular need, or you could create your own group if you want and lead the raid to be able to do that stuff. So
yes.
I think there are possibilities. It's just you have to really work for it right now.
Yeah.
So are you willing to work for it? Well, then I think you can probably do something.
There you go.
Yeah. Dairies, do you want to get
That's
that
me.
next? Do you want to get that next question for us?
This is from Shay Flanagan.
Yeah.
It says, what do you guys think of Blizzard raising the prices of character transfers, etc., because of entertainment value?
Yeah. So there was a post this week about them increasing the UK side of things, and I think this is what she's talking about. Yeah, and I know that again, this is another hot button issue for Olivia Grace. We were talking about it before Legendary this week, and she was all up in arms about it. Colt, did you take a look at the post?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me they're raising the price of character transfers?
They are raising the price in the UK.
The UK, yeah.
They are raising the price all around, and in the forum post, it looks like things like name changes are going to go up by £1. We have appearance changes going up by £1. We have guild name changes going up by £2. We have faction changes going up by a couple of pounds. It's all pounds.
Well, first off, what the heck is a pound?
Right,
How much is that in US?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
$2.
$2.
Like a penny?
$2.
Yeah. So
$2?
the character transfer is £15. It's about $25 or so right now, and it's going up to £17, which is about $28, $29. So it's going up, it's going up a couple bucks.
Well, this is obvious. I mean, clearly Blizzard hates Europe. I mean, clearly. That's what this means.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Yep.
I'm seeing some of that in the chat room. Absolutely. Blizzard hates Europe, which is why they're doing this. I don't understand why they're doing this. Is this for tax reasons? What is the reason?
I don't know. I mean, they just said that we're taking a look at it. We're adjusting the pound sterling prices for some of the optional services we offer for World of Warcraft.
Is this like a conversion thing? What is going on? I don't know why they're doing this.
Maybe. Yeah, they just hate the UK.
Clearly.
Yeah. Not all of Europe, obviously, because it's not the euro that's being affected. It's just the UK.
Oh,
maybe it's a tax thing. I don't know.
I hope they don't do this and then bring it to the US. I mean, it's already pricey, man. Trust me. I know my wife, when I transfer a character, you know what kind of grief I get?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Now they increase that
I get
by
it.
a few pounds?
I get it.
I heard
I'm
rumor
gonna
that
get pounded in the face.
they were doubling the price for WAD for character transfer.
That's Warlords, by the way.
No,
it's Warlords. That's not
it's
WAD.
just WAD.
It's Warlords.
This is insane. No. I mean, character transfers are going up. BlizzCon tickets are going up. Charity dinners are going up. What is going on?
I don't know.
Inflation's not that bad, right?
All right. Well, with that, unfortunately,
got me all worked up.
With that, unfortunately, we have to go.
Yeah, you're right. I gotta calm down.
We gotta
I'm
calm
getting
down.
all worked up.
Remember that
we got a phone number for you.
Yeah, we got a phone number just for you, Koltrane.
Oh,
and for everybody else out there. But first, let's do 5-star reviews. And Darius, can you help us out with the 5-star reviews this week?
We have Death Strider, Two Bark, Death Dark Claw. Sorry, Nea Drari. I don't know.
Right.
M879278183.
That's the phone number.
And Ninjox18.
All right. Thank you so much for all the 5 stars this week. Thanks for all the comments and thumbs ups and shares on the YouTubes and on Gamebreaker.
The tweeters.
And the tweeters. Any shout outs this week, fellas?
I have one, a huge one, absolutely massive one. To Leo or the Leonidas. He's a feral druid on our raid team, and he ran last Monday. He ran the Boston Marathon, start to finish, with on average about a 7-minute split through the whole thing.
Whoa!
And he did the whole thing dressed as Captain America.
You know what? For that, he gets a big round of applause. That is amazing.
Huge shout out to Leo. Yeah, he was my hero all of last week.
And I want to give a big shout out to the folks over at it was Boston General that you were staying at, right?
Mass General or
Mass General. That was it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for taking care of Dairies. We're so glad that he's back with us, back on the show.
That's right.
And back on the raid team and stuff like that. Okay. Colt, did you have anything?
I got a big shout out to the Podcaster Tournament of Epicness.
Oh.
I'd like to thank everyone that voted in the tournament. Big shout out to Sheep Moon, the Elite Hacksaw, and Rivalcast Media. And a big shout out to Ro. The big voting went down, and myself and Ro were like the co-champions. We're so thank you to everyone who voted in the tournament.
We're the co-champions, but there was only one winner, and it was you, right?
Well, yes, but it's Ro. I can't, Ro's he's the co-champion. So big shout out to Ro from Realm Maintenance. Big shout out to everyone. And shout out to you guys for voting in the tournament and participating. And a shout out to the tournament as well. This is a great way to meet other podcasters, to get turned on to other shows and other people. And it's been great. So my podcast queue now is triple the size it was because of the podcast tournament. So big shout out to you guys for putting it together and for all those that participated. Awesome.
And I don't know if you heard, but the music ran out, so I don't even have to stop it this time. It just ended.
That's right.
It just
you don't
ended.
need to bail out.
I don't need to bail out. But thank you guys for participating in the show. Thanks for giving us 5 stars. Just making our days brighter and better because you are a part of it.
Yeah, I need a shameless plug here for the Asparagus Initiative. We are looking for some more raiders. For ones that have cleared normals and done a few heroics. So if you're looking, head over to the forums or send me a message in game or something like that. But we're looking for some more raiders. All
right.
And also a big shout out to Rectified. We are going to start recruiting very shortly for Mythic. We are looking for raiders.
Look at that. All the raid teams are looking for new people.
Yeah.
All the raid teams. Oh, boy. All right.
We can cut that after.
All right, but if you guys want to talk to us for whatever reason, whether it's about the raid stuff or whatever, you can do that in so many different ways, and I'm going to play this one. I'm going to do the slow groove this week. You can email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on the tweeters at convertraid or individually, isn't that right, Koltrane?
You can follow Pat Krane at Pat Krane. You can follow Koltrane at _Koltrane. And you can follow Dairies at Board Mine.
That was cool.
Ooh, it's the music, baby.
That was cool. Cool jazz. All right, and feel free to join the Bazooba Guaba Nation by heading over to convertraid.com, where we have show downloads, we have forums, we have tons of links for raiders and so much more. We've got our videos over there, too. Our live feed and video show is also at gamebreaker.tv. Please watch, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. And our audio show is available on Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, all sorts of different places like that. And that is going to be it for the show, fellas. We hope you had a good time. We hope I know I had a good time. It was nice being back.
Yeah, man.
After a week off. Actually, after 2 weeks off. And I know that May's going to get hectic again.
It is.
Very hectic. So we'll see who's around next week. But thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show next week. Hopefully all of us will be. I'm not sure, really. We'll figure it out later. But we record Sundays at 11 a.m. Central. And for all the guys that Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.